Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is Rose Fausto, the mom, also known as FQ Mom.
And this is Anton Fausto, the son. So today we're interviewing none other than son's number or brother's number 1 and 2.
That's right. We'll have Martin, the panganay, and Enrique, our middleborn, joining us to answer some questions and share their experiences on what it's like as the panganay, as the middle
And
child.
of course, for me, the bunso, and many more. So let's get to our interview. Okay, so joining us today, we have my Kuyas, we have Kuya Marty, and Dikong Enrique. Hi, guys.
Woo!
Hello.
So you guys are okay naman? How are you doing?
Yeah.
First time joining this podcast.
I know. So it's happy to be here.
And it's good nga that it's a holiday today. So, since Enrique doesn't live with us on the weekdays, and syempre, Kuya Marty is also always very busy. So it's good na, it's a holiday, so
So
we get
busy.
to, we get to be together today here at home and record this podcast. Okay, so today we're going with this topic of sibling love, how it is to create and maintain strong relations through the years, because we also have some questions from our listener. Hi, Rose and Anton. I'd like to suggest the topic of how to build and strengthen bonds among your children, especially the boys in your mom and son podcast. You see, there are many estranged siblings when they become adults, and I have friends who, when they were children, were close to each other, but became estranged when they became adults. Some Filipino families use terms such as kuya, ate, diko, etc., depending on the birth order of the sibling. I'm impressed that Anton uses kuya and dikong in addressing his older brothers, even if he speaks English. I like it when he said that his kuya and dikong were his idols growing up. How did you and Marvin do that? And the last part is, do you think that the tradition of using these terms has a big role in shaping siblings' relationships, even when they become adults and have their own families?
Okay, so let's discuss that.
Why did you raise us in, especially me, calling them kuya, calling them dikong, having these terms and not just their first name?
In our Ilocano family, it was just manang or manong. But in Papa's family, they're a Tagalog family. That's where we get the tradition of using kuya for the firstborn, diko for the secondborn, sangko for the thirdborn. This is on the male side. And then on the female side, there's ate, diche, sanse. So we thought it would be good to use that, no? Giving the needed respect and making it built in the language so that it's easier for the younger siblings to know, oh, sino ba yung nakakatanda, yung ganon.
Sense of being important. Sorry, this is on number 1. Si Kuya. Oh, yeah. I
Koya.
think it was also nice hearing it from you guys being called Kuya Marty. And I don't know, I felt awkward also if you just call me by my first name. Because my friends, they just call their older siblings by their first name. And parang, I asked them, they don't respect you. I equate that already to respect.
Yeah, similar to me. Even though this is son number 2, no, I'm the dikong already. It's nice to be reminded as well. I think subconsciously there's an effect that, okay, Kuya Marty, he's the big boss. But when he's not there, dikong is the boss.
The second boss.
The secondborn is there.
Yeah, and I guess also when you get into arguments, kahit na naiinis tayo, even if we're really getting pissed, we still show respect.
I remember we had one fight na
Is that
Marty-
the banyo?
No. Kuya Marty was really mad and he said something like, ano ba yan, he's still calling me kuya pero wala namang respect. Parang there's something like that. So there's that aspect that even if it's something very basic, something default na in us na it's just part of your name. Na we don't naman say kuya every time we say kuya. It's like, oh, kuya, sign of respect. Oh, kuya, sign of respect. Parang naging part of
Part
our
of my name na rin.
yeah, part
In
of
the
our
house.
name. But it makes subconsciously there's still that sort of sense of respect, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Di ba, Anton, you have classmates who would call them Kuya Marty and Dikong Enrique also, no?
Yeah, I feel like it's something also that it's also part of the respecting. It's how we call the parents of our friends, tito and tita.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think language really plays a strong role in having that respect all throughout.
Meron akong i-add dyan. Kasi siguro this is an Asian thing. Especially the Chinese language, from which we got all this achi, di ba, mga yan?
Yeah.
Oo. in their language kasi, they're very specific eh. When they say, di ba nga, when they say uncle, the way they say uncle is naka-specify na talaga dun kung anong side of the family, ganyan. So, it probably helps them identify the role of each family member. So, siguro, ang positive effect nito, di ba, Kuya. So, you are reminded to respect him being the oldest. And then, the Kuya naman is also reminded that he has to be a good role model. Kasi Kuya siya eh. He's the one being looked up to, di ba?
Let's start with the Kuya. How was it like na you were born with the role of being the eldest, supposedly the leader, the boss? Is it something that parang you had to learn to live by, or parang when you just knew that you were the Kuya and you just fit the role?
It's more of half and half, I guess. Because I liked also taking care of younger. Like kayo, when you guys were small, I would carry you. I would semi-boss you around. Like what you said, it fits my personality. But there are times that I had to step up. So when Mama and Papa would be abroad,
Yes.
I'd be the one. I actually feel guilty if I'm going out at night.
It's funny
Na walang
nga
tao
kasi-
sa bahay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. It's
Yeah,
funny
kasi like,
na
what if may nasunog or what if, I don't know, what happens.
there are times when Kuya Marty pa is a stricter parent than if Mama and Papa were home.
Yeah.
I had to be conscious in
Para role model ka.
yeah, may ganong pressure din. And when I talk to my other friends who are also the eldest in their families, well, they can't show siguro their weaknesses all the time to the youngers.
May naalala ako dyan, your preschool teacher, Martin, sa number 1, she also reminded us not to overdo because you didn't choose to be the firstborn.
What do you mean overdo?
Not to
The
overdo,
pressure.
to overburden Martin with the Kuya responsibilities. Kasi nga hindi niya pinili yon.
Well, for me as the
Yeah,
Dico,
this is for me this is the more interesting. How about the middle child? This is usually the ano eh.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I see lots of Facebook posts that
issues.
the middle
The
child
middle
is
child
actually
syndrome.
it's actually a demon. Parang may ganun. How is it like for you?
Well, for me, I felt that first the Dico, the initial role was like a vice president. I'm only gonna have to step up if Mr. President, aka
That's my
Panganay,
favorite rule.
is not there. So usually chill lang. No? But what I noticed is that what became my role in the family as the Deacon, or at least for
Is
our
to
case,
fix the Wi-Fi every time it's down.
Aside from that,
Department of Housing.
the other thing I had to fix was the issues of if it's the top and the bottom having a fight. Because I think the middle child had the very special situation of one, I was fighting with Kuya Marty every day
Oh, this is very
for a certain time, as the younger one being quote unquote nabapagtripan. And when I was the older one, I was the one naman na pinapagtripan kasi Anton, the little brother. So after having both experiences of being the older and being the younger one of the argument, it made it much easier for me to deal with both. So I think what happened is, kung may nag-aaway, usually my default role is the middleman. I have to make sure that okay, Kuya Marty, that was kind of your fault. I'm just gonna say sorry this time.
I always thought that it was like a curse that what you had, that there's that age when kids are really young that they'll fight every
day.
I'm sure.
Oh
Mama,
yeah, I'm sure. I'm
You
sure the
remember that.
parents
The
out
smallest
there.
things As in, tatapik mo lang yung shoulder. Tapos,
Oh yeah, in the car.
Parang hinahanap niyo yung gawin.
sa massing.
Parang it was like part of your ritual. Oh my God.
Parang I guess it molded Bikong na in that
Yes.
sense.
In fact, when he was explaining it, parang he has a richer experience.
The most
So,
diplomatic among us.
Sabihin mo, Enrique, the middle board should take it positively.
So yeah, before I thought initially nga na parang ikaw yung least attention, whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt na it was the most,
Training.
I get both perspectives of the argument. So, like right now, I feel that even outside of coming brothers, I'm still the guy na to make sure na mag-stop na yung mga away-away and stuff.
Well, me naman, for the bunso, I'll be the one to ask myself, how is it like to be the bunso? No, for me, I feel like I was lucky because usually yung bunso, also learning from Papa's experiences, he wasn't really part of like big decision. Like, wag mo na siya isama.
Sa bill.
Yeah, mga ganon, bunso naman. those type of stuff. But I feel like we were raised in a way na parang each vote matters as much. Like, I feel like it shaped then our personalities, our characteristics. That since we were born with this environment, this well also these expectations that you're gonna act this way, this is the role you want to play. Parang nag-fit na rin siya to our personality and how we deal with things in life.
Because you get specific experiences given your role. Like since my say my role as the middleborn, I wasn't given all the responsibilities if I'm away. So maybe
that's true.
Diba? So the experiences themselves molded us to kind of go along with how the role or the stereotype is like.
And I feel like it's because we fit into these roles na although it wasn't something that we applied for, parang to something we were born with. But then we all three of us took it naman na okay, this is my role. And since Marty got to play, like you really bought into the role of being the kuya. That led Dikong to fit talaga into the role of being the middle child. Kasi there are times na yung panganay doesn't super act like the panganay, so someone else is gonna have to step up. So parang disorient nawawala na yung order of nature and society.
And it should be that you are comfortable with it and you accept that that's just how it is. That's your I guess that's what you were kind of quote unquote born with. But it's up to you. Like for me, I could argue na all of these middle child syndrome have so many issues and all these things. But to me, I'm like, there's actually a pro also of being the middle child. So
okay, so moving on to the first part of our listener Cora's question. She's asking because there are many siblings that they're close when they're growing up, when they're young, but when they grew up, hindi na masyado close. Estranged siblings. It's a very strange topic.
Stranger things.
Well, I think we can start with how growing up we were in one room. We had one bedroom, the three of us. I think that played a big role.
One small room.
Yeah, I think it's also true. Kasi based on I think what Cora's asking, coming from in hindsight, we did not do the whole bonding thing out of our own volition or initiative. We were just born into it.
It was a structure thing.
Yeah, it's a structural thing that we had the same room, 3 beds. There's a time bunk bed, tas isang solo bed. We'd have that few minutes of time to talk about what happened during the day before we actually slept. And di ba dati, Papa would always go to our room, checking if we're still awake at 8 p.m. or 8:30.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I remember that. It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Time to sleep. Tapos we'll fake sleep.
Yeah.
And then there were times na Papa would be sneaky, na he would silently just close the door.
He'll turn off the lights and close the door.
But he's inside the room. And then we all wake up.
And start talking.
He's still there.
And then Papa, tulog na.
Not just the room, even like, for example, if you want to watch TV, you go to the room with the TV. So all of us will have to share the TV. It's not like you have your own room and you do your own thing. It's if you want to do this certain activity, you're all there in the same place.
And I think it's a structure thing. Since our bedroom was really just for sleeping and changing, there's no TV there. So alam mo na when you're in the bedroom, this is the only thing you do. It's very important.
Also,
the library.
Doing homework, we have to go to the library, but nobody really goes to the room.
I think it's very important na the physical structure of the house plays a big role also in how the people in it behave. And it was also very, I guess it's really good that we didn't have cell phones at a very young age, since like now, me when I go to bed, cell phone muna before I sleep. But then before, since walang phone or anything, you're kind of forced to talk to each other. It's important that you start at a young age, that you're close, the formative years. But then it's another challenge on how to maintain that strong relationship growing up. So how would you guys parang suggest for siblings to still stay close through the years?
Well, for me, this time number 2, I don't live in the same house anymore.
Yeah.
I'm only
during the week.
During the weekdays, every weekend I come back. But for me, I think the key was really to make sure that you allot time, that it's a bonding time. So for us, it's actually every Sunday.
Yeah.
I make sure that I'm home as much as possible.
Kaya nga minsan we're talkative during mass, pinapagsabihin tayo ng papa.
Actually, that's the time we catch up from the weekend.
Sa mas naman.
Yeah, so like for example, if there are may mga lakad or whatever on Sundays, I avoid it as much as possible
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be family time. And when it's family time, let's say for lunch or merienda or whatever, as much as possible, I try to be present and I ask, oh, how was the week?
Yeah.
What's up? Ganyan. What happened?
It also helps if you also know the friends of your siblings.
Oh, yes.
Common friends, and then when they say stories, and I guess it's also important and helpful if you make yourself likable as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll come to a point wherein during college, you don't really have to keep talking or bond with your siblings. But if you're somebody who is enjoyable, fun to be with, makes sense,
Mhm.
respectable, they'll actually like talking and hanging out with you. Na rin.
I feel like it's an important thing to treat your siblings like friends. Kasi
Oh.
parang it's the default thing for families na, yeah, porket we're relatives, sige, we're gonna see each other a lot, we're gonna quote unquote stay close.
Mm.
Kasi yung friends mo, these are the people you choose to keep in your life. These are the people you choose to spend time with. This one na you really, parang conscious effort.
That's why you're more conscious in respecting them and treating them well, as opposed to,
Mhm.
let's say, relatives. You
Take
know naman
it
at the end
for
of the day,
them.
you have the same surname,
Yeah.
so you don't have to.
I feel that's like a blessing and a curse since they're gonna be there naman forever. I mean, gets all. Hindi naman mawawala yung status of being siblings. But
Yeah.
then because of that, people sometimes
the more, no?
people sometimes tend to take it for granted na,
Yes.
dyan naman siya eh. Kapatid ko naman eh. But you still have to take the time. That's why what we do is we have those parang bonding. Like a few months ago, we went to Taiwan.
What was that? There?
Okay, it was their graduation. I just graduated last year. It was their graduation gift to me.
Yoo!
Very very advanced graduation gift na yung ticket,
Halos
lodging.
mura yung
Para
ticket.
seat sale.
Yeah. It was in the last week of November. Ba yun? Last week.
Yes.
Long weekend kasi.
Mhm. Parang walang leave.
Para walang leave.
Iba rin kasi yung dynamic siguro, no? If, minus the parents, just the siblings, going out, hanging out together, no? Kwentuhan nyo nga kami konti dun sa Taiwan bonding. Anong
Yeah.
hashtag doon?
I didn't actually.
Hindi, parang wala.
Parang wala.
Wala.
Siblings,
House
when
tour?
siblings hang out, that's the time they talk about their parents.
Ah!
It's nice then. We were so chill.
Yeah.
Try
We were
this.
too chill. I think we were too chill.
Wake you up super late.
Grabe,
Super
we woke
late.
up. We
That's
left
style
the hotel
kasi.
mga lunchtime.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
In our vacations, diba, usually mama or
Ah,
papa would be the
yeah.
one to wake us up.
Let's go, let's go.
But then,
Ganun.
since wala kami lang, we'd wake up at 12.
Paano pa nga yung mas he'd wake up earlier to get
Yeah.
our breakfast.
Yeah.
It helps that you share each other's goals.
Yeah, I think that's really important. One thing that we mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned in the other podcast.
Yeah, we had an episode on goal
podcast
setting.
Yeah.
on goal setting.
Family goals.
Since we know each other's goals, whenever we have a family WhatsApp thread and someone says something, we want to, hey, this is a really big deal, congrats. So
Mhm.
so it's nice that since we already knew what their goals were along the year, when I think of something, hey, this can help Anton in his goal, I can tell him.
Yeah.
Introduce this person because I know this is what he's thinking about, that's what he needs right now. So I think that's what keeps us close as well. Like, there are reasons to, I guess, reconnect because I know this is what what he needs, as well as this is a big event for him. I should be there.
Mhm.
So what's up works.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up, all the other...
Oh, yeah, we also have our own chat group.
Yes.
Yeah, we have
meron
we have a
kayo lang,
friends
ano?
house to one, and then we have one that brothers lang.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they have, no, minus Papa and Mama pala.
It's part of
Para
our
dun yung
relationship.
naisipin ko ano yung surprise gift niya para sa amin.
Yeah. And no, it's important to have a relationship, good relationship then, minus the parents. I remember Mama, you tell us before na parang, if you'd have to choose, make sure you have at least each other's backs.
Yes.
Kahit na it would be against you and Papa.
Maybe,
What's a better wording?
basta kasi siguro that's in preparation for the time that we're not around anymore. So,
Mhm.
we probably inculcated in you na dapat you have each other's backs na kahit mag-away kayo ng bonggang-bongga sa bahay when it comes to dealing with people outside na, kakampi kayo, di ba? Yun ang gusto namin mangyari siguro.
Parang mag-away na kayo na lang. Pero in front of other people, dapat
Yeah.
solid team kami. Solid
Solid!
team. I think another thing is that we acknowledge that parang sayang if we're not friends as brothers.
Correct.
Because we spend so much time together, we will probably still spend so much time
The
together
rest of
in
your
the future.
life. Di ba?
So if we weren't friends, sobrang boring naman ng mga
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
Hirap naman nun.
Ang lungkot ng Pasko doon.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to what we talked about a while ago, na it's your brothers who are gonna be there. So you have that quality na you guys are family, so medyo no choice. But then at the same time, you have to make the choice to be friends.
Correct.
I think it's since sila nga, these are the people who you are super sure will want what's best for you.
Oh, can I just bring this up? Kasi what I also see in adult families, no? Pagka tumanda, tas nagkaiba-iba ang financial standing, sometimes nagiging bone of contention yun eh. Nagkakaroon ng, ang yabang mo, porque mayaman ka. Parang may ganun. No? So, you guys, how are you preparing for that? Because, syempre, in the future, we don't know, ano? Magkakaiba na kayo ng net asset value.
Going back to FQ.
Actually, we're studying naman, like, iba na rin yung net asset value standing namin. Honestly, nakaka-insecure din if your younger siblings are way richer than you. You're the one who's already working, and they're still studying, but they're so richer than you. So, I guess it's that genuine want or desire for them to succeed. That's why you'd feel like it's okay for them. And the respect, I think, remains. And you just call it out. For example, we have a shared gift per parent. Oh, what's your budget? What's our budget?
Usually, I pay the least when it comes to those group gifts.
At saka siguro, maybe because you have been talking about money openly. Ano? So, it's not really a taboo topic na, ganun talaga eh. Pwedeng magkaiba-iba tayo in the future. So, maybe that's what also prepares you now, no?
Yung kita mo, the amount of money you earn doesn't equate to parang the value.
So like for
your
us,
value.
Yes.
For us, like I respect my brothers not just because of how much they earn, because there are so many other.
Because you earn the most.
But it's really parang acknowledging that you still say that I still respect you, I still look up to you for all of these other reasons. Because since I can openly talk about money, I can also openly talk about how I admire the fact that you're really good at like this, really good at like that, not just money.
Yeah. Back when we were all studying, syempre, hindi naman namin naagaga kung magkano yung kita or whatever. But we know naman we all had different grades. Example, Kuya Marty had straight first honors, ganon. But then, even if you had the straight first honors and I didn't have the straight first honors, parang there was still something else naman na ako'y na-addict sa dancing, I would be the one to perform, ganyan. We all had our different
measure of success.
Different measures of success.
That's a very good way of putting it,
Yeah. And that kind of translates to now, and now it's the most concrete way kasi to measure success eh. Kita yung where you are in your career. Maybe a closing, so that answers na the questions of Cora, but then something I want to bring up lang is, since there are different roles of each position in the birth order, what would be that big insecurity that you'd have to face, a big challenge you'd have to face? Kuya Martin, I was saying that he can't really show his weaknesses, ganon. I guess I'll start with when it comes to being the bunso, and then you have two successful older siblings, it would be normal na parang you feel like you're under their shadow, ganon.
Okay.
And going back to how I feel like structure was very important in molding us to who we are now. Di ko man Kuya Marty kasi I studied in Xavier growing up. And then me naman, I got to go to Ateneo from prep, grade 2, high school. It was also helpful to me since when I was there, I was able to kind of make a name for myself na wala namang nagtatanong na ikaw yung kapatid ni Falso. Wala
na kasi nag-nursery ka sa Xavier.
That was also important na I was able to have my own thing talaga na it's not under the shadow of two older people that they'd have to compare me to. So the structure was really good. Na,
Shadow of Giants, man.
It was something that I got to, on my own, be able to make a name for myself. This is the Falso I am, individually.
Okay.
Not always in comparison to.
Well, to me, for my end, the middle or the second child, no, I felt there were times where I felt na the attention was more towards, let's say, panganay kasi these are all new experiences for the parents. Or bunso kasi they want to spoil the bunso kasi mas pinaka-chill na sila. So I was thinking na, shucks, kulang ba ako ng attention? But I feel like that's more of the parents. If they show the attention for the second or for the middle child, that's fine. But the other...
So did I show enough attention to you?
Meron naman. I guess the other thing was the fact na baka ma-overshadow with, I guess for me, I felt strong personalities eh. Yung panganay, mas mag-boss around, tapos yung bunso, may kanya-kanyang rebel, whatever. Na, baka I can't do either of those. But for me, I think, it's up to you naman if you want to let it totally overcrowd you, or you want to just kind of find my own voice. Kasi to people outside, they think I'm very strong-willed, I really push my voice forward, pero sa aming mga kapatid, I'm saying, actually, ako na yung
Chill.
soft-spoken, pinaka-chill eh. Pero, alam mo yun, I think it's just, finding your role and then playing with it na lang.
It's true. As a kuya naman, I guess the biggest fear in is losing the respect of the younger siblings. And that's why I mentioned kanina that I'm not so comfortable in sharing, let's say, failures or
Not comfortable talaga.
failures or weaknesses. But as a kuya, I guess the way to work around that fear, insecurity is really being more honest and transparent with your younger siblings and asking for their help also. I think that's what I've been learning past couple of years. Na okay din pala. And they give a different perspective.
Actually, from the receiving end, if you ask us, if the panganay asks us for help, it's an acknowledgement that magaling din kami, or we're worth listening to.
Okay, so thank you, Cora, again for bringing up those questions, and thank you, Dikong. Thank you, Marty, for your time and
Of course.
enlightening us. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yes, and maybe I'd also want to give my parting words on this topic. No, it's very, very important for siblings to really nurture their relationship, kasi that's a very unique kind of bond, and forever yan eh. Na sayang if you're not able to make good use of that special bond, and you know that seeing your children really get along well with each other, love each other, help out each other, is the joy of a parent. I can cry. Kasi, alam nyo yung joke ni mamang ni Lola Pepay noon. She would say that, ako, I will turn in my grave if you quarrel. So parang, really, that's what a parent would really want. I think every parent would really want that, that their children, that his or her children would go along well, love each other. Yun ang talagang
Okay, so that concludes this week's episode. If you guys have any questions, again, you can email us at antonfausto@gmail.com.
Once again, this has been Rose Fausto, the mom,
and Anton Fausto, the son. Tune in again next week for another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast.
Mom and Son Podcast airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. or anytime at your convenience through Spotify, Buzzsprout, and Apple iTunes. Have your weekly dose of mother and son takes on family, finance, fashions, and everything in between.